Our meeting at Berlin was the first meeting of the great Allies since the victory was won in Europe. Naturally, our thoughts now turn to the day of victory in Japan. The British, Chinese, and United States governments have given the Japanese people adequate warning of what is in store for them. We have laid down the general terms on which they can surrender. Our warning went unheeded. Our terms were rejected. Since then, the Japanese have seen what our atomic bomb can do. They can foresee what it will do in the future. The world will note that the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, a military base. That was because we wished in the first attack to avoid, insofar as possible, the killing of civilians. But that attack is only a warning.
The Japanese refused to surrender after these devastating attacks. They were at their ropes as they continued to send their kamikaze planes. But because of our picket lines and aircraft carriers, very few of these suicide planes reached the anchorage where an attack carrier, the USS LaGrange, APA-124, was in Buckner Bay.
The Japanese pilots liked to come out of the sun so you couldn't see them. Where we were sitting on that particular evening on the highest deck on the ship, we could see them as plain as plain.
Don Wolford, a prison guard and signalman, is standing watch with Marvin McAbee the evening of August 13, 1945. Don writes a letter home as he lounges on a canvas bag that holds the signal flags.
I can still remember floating through the air from the concussion. At this moment, time stopped.
The first Zero was carrying a 500-pound bomb that caused an enormous explosion on the port side of the ship. The second wasn't as successful due to heavy anti-aircraft fire. It collided with the ship's tall mast and splashed into the water about 20 yards away. Marvin McAbee and Don Wolford, who was cushioned from the explosion by the bag of signal flags he was sitting on, both survived. Don awoke in the hospital with shrapnel wounds, injuries to his elbow and hip, and 2 shattered eardrums. Also to learn the devastating news of 21 other men being killed and 89 left wounded.
The complete and formal surrender of Japan. In the Bay of Tokyo itself, the United States destroyer Buchanan comes alongside, bringing representatives of the Allied powers to witness the final capitulation.
Don was later awarded the Purple Heart for his brave service in the U.S. Navy.